We've gone from Vegas to Down Under, and now the home of motorsport, London. Revo on pole from Seb Ocampo and Dav Sanchez. Then it's UK Ball and Iron Babness. Akari starts 6th. Then it's P. Sierra. And then we've got Michael Nokovov in 8th. August Rigazzoni starts 9th from Lawless Leclerc. Then it's Santino Milan and Leo. Next up is Yuki Suo, and then you've got Anot Kiwi. Then it's T. Gabo, followed by Meal Rez. Then it's the other version of Daniel Bogdasarov. Iwad starts 18th on hard tires. Then it's Marcus Nelson, Bashi Chan Tan, David Camino, and Tommy. No, I did not just wrap the grid. I promise. I'm sorry. But 8 rounds done. We're back in the home of motorsport, the London E-Prix. Revo on pole, then it's Seb Ocampo. And the London E-Prix is green. Brilliant start from both Revo and Dav Sanchez, who takes it up into 2nd. Ocampo drops down to 3rd. Babinets also on the hard tires, as well as Nokovov. So coming through the 1st sector. Oh, Babinets 5 seconds time penalty for hitting the back of the slow starting Ocampo. UK Ball, home driver here, currently trying to get himself up into the podium. He's up into 3rd, getting past Sebastian Ocampo. But his old teammate Revo currently leads the way here in London. And it's the same place where UK Ball won his maiden championship. But now he's fighting over the podium with a man who has already won his maiden championship. There goes P. Sierra up into 3rd in that Nissan Nismo. Before this season started, this was the last place we saw a Nissan driver take the race win. It was absolutely historic how UK Ball won back then, but we're now in a different era of the championship. And those times when Nissan Nismo is usually very good, they've gone. And now they're just alright. As we come through the club corners, this is usually where we see a lot of collisions. Almost the barrier for Iron Babness, who's dropped down to 6th from 4th on the grid. He's dropped to 7th rather. And that time is going to hinder him for hopefully not a vast majority of this runtime of this race, but it likely will. Lap 2 of 13 here in London, in the United Kingdom. Revo from Sanchez from Sierra. Sebastian Ocampo currently 4th. Fastest first sector going to Revo. It's a 20.1 first sector time. That's 2nd. UK Ball, he started on the mediums, same as Dav Sanchez. So I think with mediums, you're able to go a lot longer with them. And I do predict that the medium tire runners should be able to do a 1-stop. It could be close. And the hard tire runners are guaranteed to go for a 1-stop unless they get a puncture. Babinets, his bad day goes even worse. Drops down to 9th position. Revo, he's leading out there 2.6 seconds ahead of Dav Sanchez. Sierra, he's using attack mode, coming into the final 4 turns, with one of them already cleared. Can Ocampo try and force his way past the Nissan ahead of him? He can't. Akari almost smidging the barriers there. It's always very close coming through. Gabo 5 seconds for causing a collision. He drops to 18th. Tommy to 17th. But we now look back to the front. Ooh, Akari looking to try and get past UK Ball. Revo, he's yet to win a World Drivers' Championship. But if you told me right now that he wouldn't win this championship, if you came from the future and you said that he wouldn't win this championship, I wouldn't believe you, because we've done 8 races so far, and he is 50 points ahead of nearest rival David Camino, who Camino's in 15th. That's not bad. That's all it is. It's just not bad. Not really this performance from the man who's currently 2nd in the driver's standings. But Braun hasn't really been looking too good. Sierra, he's darting around and defending from one Alan Andretti and attacking the other. He's dropped off in the back of Ocampo, but they will both get attack mode here, going down into 4th to last turn. And can Ocampo try and send it down the inside? He just can't. He's closed in quite a bit as Sierra. Can he send it? He's not going to try it, because that would be absolutely dangerous. But sometimes a little danger is necessary in this championship to get yourself into a high position. 4 of 13 then. And Revo extends his lead 3.3 seconds ahead of nearest rival Daf Sanchez. You rarely ever see someone win here in Britain from pole, but I think we could even see a lights the flag victory today. iWorld currently 20th, fighting with both App Sportsline cars. And, you know, you rarely ever see drop-offs in this championship. You do really see a lot of drivers just maintain their form. But, like, you do see occasionally some drivers fall off, like Alan Lee did after he left Andretti. He really didn't have the best season. Tom O'Connor, by the way, he didn't have the best time in McLaren or later on in DS Penske. Sierra still on the back of Sanchez. He's not really trying to make any lunges for second. Akari behind him, fighting with UK Ball and Regazzoni over 5th position. That's not going to end well. Miracle that they don't provide any contact, but Akari up into 5th then, getting past same driver. Can he close in on Ocampo? Not quite yet. We've got 7 laps to go. T. Gabo comes into the pits. Virgin Renault first team to pull the trigger. Purple, silver and red car from Virgin Renault, powered by DS Automobiles and Renault collectively. PCR on the back of the MS Hamlin and Andretti of Daf Sanchez. Last time out retired from the E3. This time out coming in 2nd. And he's trying to close in. Trying to close in on Sanchez. Sierra has got attack mode. He will be able to use it coming down this next straight. But he's dropped off the back. He's very vulnerable to Sebastian Ocampo. There could be an attack coming from the Season 14 champion. Minor look to the inside, drops off quite a bit, and now he's got Akari right behind him. Akari sends it down the inside. One down, they don't collide, but behind him, UK Ball out of the E3. UK Ball is out of his home E3 for not the first time in this E3 in his career. That's your first retirement. Many drivers starting into pit lane. Revo will not get a lights the flag victory because he's going to come out of the pits around about a 10th position. But this was the best time to come in and change tyres. 7 laps on the mediums is manageable. It can be done because Sanchez is still out there and his tyres should be able to do the distance for 2 more laps. It will come to about 40% tyre wear for Revo, so it's not exactly safe, but it is doable. Sierra is now fighting for the lead. Let's keep taking a look. Still a chance for Sierra to make a massive move. Revo, by the way, up into 9th, getting ahead of Vashi Shantan. And 3 tenths, 4 tenths. I think he can make the 10th of a second gap. He's lost out coming through the final part of that squiggle section of the track. 1 second. That's the gap. Now, he really struggled following Daf Sanchez. He's not going to try and lunge. He was going to lunge. He's coming into the pits at the end of this lap as P. Sierra. So, extending 1 more lap. Was that worth it? We'll only know later on. Ocampo dives down the inside of Marcus Nelson. Takes 11th place away from him. And he's going to try and get Vashi Chantan as well. Can he do it? You know for a fact. He's going to give it everything. But not quite enough yet. He's going to have another shot going down the back straight of the track. And if he can make the pass, it'd be very helpful for his ambitions later on in the E3. Gabo definitely missed out by putting 1 lap too early. Gets past Vashi Chantan there with attack mode. Babinis, Nokovov, and iWorld, the hard tire runners. There's no one out there running soft tires currently. And I can tell why. Suo really extending as much as he can all of these guys in the top 5 extending their tires as much as possible. Included in that conversation is Ocampo, but here is Yuki Zero trying to fight with Babinets and Nokovov. Not quite close enough to get past Babinets, but Nokovov senses a potential opportunity. Not going to take it yet. They've all got attack mode, which for whatever reason cuts out halfway through that turn. He sends it down the inside. That's very close. And he does get past Yuki Suo. Novikov to P3 as Suo dives into pit lane with Dav Sanchez race leader. So Babinets leads, Novikov second. Bogtasarov comes into the pit, so Revo will assume P3. Vasichan Tan also comes into the pits at the end of this lap. Ocampo up to P4. And extending the mediums definitely did not work out as well as they would have wanted them to. Right now they're hoping for the guys that come in and swapped onto soft tires. They want one thing, and that is for the race leaders to have an absolutely shocking stint on their mediums, because they now have the fastest tires and the freshest tires of anyone. Oh, puncher from Ilrez! For the second weekend in a row, the App Sports line driver and his tyres have given out. Milrez with a puncture on this lap. Oh dear, it's a rear puncture this time, and oh, hit by Bogtasarov, 5 second time penalty for the out of the race goes Milrez, spinning and goes Vachi Chantan, the Frenchman and the Italian both colliding with the back of the App Sports line driver. It's another virtual safety car, and for the hard tire runners, this is actually a perfect opportunity to come into the pits now. They will lose out a lot less than their fellow drivers, but no, Banner staying out. VSC ending. Novikov comes in. I think Iworld might come into the pits on this lap. He's rightfully being chased by Santino Milan, but they both stay out to fight this fight. 4 laps to go here in London. And I have to swallow something there. We are right on the back of Yuki Suo. Very close between these two. Suo just about sprinting away from the Aurelio Pinnacle number 30. But you can see it's happened again. The 2 hyperdrive cars facing each other in a potential standoff. Into the pits comes Rashi Chantan to fix his front wing. Day over for him, caused by a Swiss tyre failure. And oh, Ravo, he's still there with his teammate. 1/10 of a second, side by side, they go. This is going to come down to attack mode, because Ravo is ahead, coming through the attack mode activation point. A detection point, sorry. Through the activation point, Babinets behind. Can he close in to his teammate? The more experienced of the 2 hyperdrive cars. He's going for his first ever championship after multiple seasons of attempts and fails. And Babinet's not close enough to deny Revo of his race lead. He's going to stay out though. Can he make it to the end? There are 3 more laps to go here in London. And the question on everyone's mind right now is, can Babinet and Iworld, can they make it to the end? Because they have 2 more laps to come into the pits. Sanchez, fastest lap of the Prix. He's currently 13th, fighting an Fury over 12th. And Ocampo ahead of Babinets now. And those hard tyres on the 14th hyperdrive car definitely not working as well as they would have wanted. Similar story for Iworld in the number 21. Because look at him, he's dropped quite heavily. He's now in 10th. As Sanchez now up into 12th position. And 3 laps left to run in this E3. And I do believe that Hyperdrive and Mercedes are going to pull in both of their drivers. Ocampo and Akari now ahead of Babinets. That should be the top 3. Akari somehow salvaging another podium out of today. He's really good at making the most of an opportunity when it presents itself. As Santino Milan trying to get past his own countryman, going into the chicane, sending it down the inside. It's quite the dive. They almost collide, and it's not quite going to be it for Milan as staying out. Oh, an RQE, 5 second time penalty, and out to have Sanchez. Sanchez out of the E3. And he's gone flying. We don't see his car. Iworld comes into pits for his first and only pit stop. No real significant damage to Kiwi's car. You can't really see too much of the damage. 2 laps to run. Revo leading from Ocampo and Akari. Gabo's coming to the pits for the second time. Interesting that they are going to try and do a 2-stop. And now you've got to be rooting for Ocampo, because he's got an opportunity to win his first race since Monaco. Ever since he's won in Monaco, not only hit himself, the entire MS Amlin Andretti operation has just looked saddening. And similar story for Aurelio Pinnacle after winning both championships last season. Apart from the constructors this season, they've looked nowhere. Andretti and Pinnacle, after being the dominant forces in seasons 14 and 15, they've been literally nowhere in season 16. They're 6th and 7th, tied on points in the constructors' standings. Leclerc fighting with Tommy over 7th position. Ocampo's in for his second stop on the penultimate lap of the E3. Babness is in for his first stop. Many drivers coming in for a pit stop on lap 12, and that makes you question. Revo and Akari are out there doing the one-stop strategy. Sierra, Camino, Leclerc, all out there doing a one-stop. Will it work is the question. Novikov and Suo now looks to be in the question for a high-placing finish. They're definitely going to get points here. And Arcuri coming out of the pits then. They were able to repair damage. Camino up into P3. He was on the back row of the grid, and he's now up into 3rd. All he has to do now is hold on. But Leclerc and Sierra, they're not going to allow him to breathe easy, because here comes Leclerc. He's going to try and dart to the inside as they now come through the end of the second sector. The attack mode activation point is coming up. Leclerc and Sierra are both going to get attack mode. There they go. Rear wing flaps open, but they're not close enough to make any true inroads. So we're right on board with Revo then. On the penultimate lap, it's going to be close for their tyres. Both Revo and Akari, Camino, Leclerc, Sierra, they are all trying to make sure that this one-stop strategy works. Tommy fast the second sector. We're on to the final lap here in London. Revo leading the way from Akari, Camino, Leclerc and Sierra. Michael Novikov right on the back of Leclerc, Sierra and Camino. Novikov is in the fight for a podium today, and if he can make it work, it would be absolutely beautiful for a Hong Kong driver to be back on the podium. But here he comes. He's past Sierra with attack mode. He's going to get past Leclerc with attack mode, and he's not quite close enough to send it on Camino with attack mode. Leclerc also fighting with Sierra over 5th now. This is your fight over the final place on the podium. Camino is holding up a train that includes Yuki Suo, but here comes Michael Novikov on the final lap. He's making one desperate charge for the lead of this gaggle of cars fighting over P3, but in the lead, it's Revo. He's won the past 3 races on the bounce. He's having the best run of his career, and as long as he can get through the chicane, it's going to be 4 for 4. He hits the wall. Into the wall goes Revo, but he's still in the race. And it's Akari right on his tail. But it's going to be a hectic finish, but still a finish that the 7 crew are proud of. Revo takes his 4th race in 4 races. There's Akari a second, and it's going to be a drag race for P3. Tied! Almost there. Ocampo fastest lap with an 8th place finish. Camino will be on the podium with P3. Ionet Babnet's fastest lap with 14th place. Santino Milan 15th, Nelson 16th, and Arcuri will come in with 17th. Gabo is 18th, and Arcuri getting a fastest lap in the end. As we now watch Vashi Chantan come through the final chicane in last place for the Mahindra driver. What a finish there. Revo hitting the wall, just about surviving and taking the race win. And this is your podium then. For the fourth race in a row, Revo wins the London E3 and extends his championship lead. Then it's Akari and David Kamino. Michael Markov comes home with P4. He was only a handful of hundredths behind the Braun GP car. Then it's Lawrence Leclerc, P. Sierra, Yuki Tsuo, and Sebo Campo, the top 8. Leo is 9th from iWorld and August Regazzoni. Then it's Tommy, Santino Milan, Daniel Bogdasarov, Ian Babnis, Marcus Nelson, Not Huey, T. Gabo, and Vashi Chantan. Your non-finishers were Daf Sanchez, Milrez, and Ukable. In the drivers' standings, it's been an absolutely unthinkable run for Revo, who's taken 4 wins in a row. He leads the way from David Kamino and Yuki Tsuo, tied with Ukable. Then it's Daniel Bogdasarov, Akari, and August Regazzoni. Sebo Campo 1 point back from the Argentinian rookie. Then it's Milrez and Marcus Nelson. Santino Milan is 11th from Tommy and Michael Makovov, tied with Lawrence Leclerc. Leo is 15th, then it's P. Sierra and Daf Sanchez. Ian Babnis is 18th, then it's Anok Kiwi, T. Gabo, iWorld, and Vashi Chantan is still yet to score any points. In the constructors' standings, going into the next round of the championship, Hyperdrive lead the way from Braun, EP Honda, and Toyota Gazoo Racing. App Sportsline are 4th, and it's Aurelio Pinnacle, and Next TV Formula E. Nissan Nismo is 7th, then it's MS and Amlin Andretti, Virgin Renault, and the Mercedes Formula E team, with Mahindra making up the back of the pack. We'll see you guys next time then, when the Formula E Monopoly Championship returns.